Oh, hello, hello. Let's see if y'all can see me and hear me. And let me kill the volume so I can do this. And let's see if anybody beats Jacob tonight. The 5x5. And I'm not seeing me yet. So, do. Meanwhile, back the ranch, here comes the screen. And Jacob is the winner again. All right. Buenas noches. Bienvenido. Dobry den. Oh, good evening. Guten Tag. I don't know. That kind of runs out of everything I can think of here off the top of my head. So, happy Saturday, guys. Hope you all had a busy, productive prepping day. Me, myself, I finally finished processing all this freaking zucchini. Made myself about, what I get, 8 pints of pineapple zucchini and 7 pints of zucchini bread and butter pickles. So that was what I was doing. Yes, this was my first foray into hot water bath canning today. So we went out and bought a hot water bath canner this morning, and I was like, okay, let's get all this stuff done. And I had, like most of you, watched a bunch of videos on how to do it, and hope to God I don't poison myself. And if all of you saw the video where I made calvacita the other day, I did reprocess all that for 90 minutes. So just checking there. All right. So, first off, I want to say good evening to the fearsome foursome. That would be North Shore and Robert and Jacob and the former Patriot sandwich maker, who is now our, why do I always forget what your, Lucky Dame Preparedness. There we go. So, guys, if you're a troll, you might as well leave now. I'm just giving you the warning because these guys don't take no shit from nobody. So, you don't get a second chance. There is no 300-second timeout. You are just bye-bye. So we keep everything polite in here. PG-13. There's no arguing. There's no fighting. There's no bitching. But I will say this: differing opinions are always welcome, as long as they are polite. Okay. Call somebody an idiot. Call somebody an asshole. You disappear real fast. Okay, you're allowed your opinions. This is not Google censoring. Okay, we don't do that. You're allowed your opinion. You can say whatever you want, as long as you do it respectfully. Make your point, and if somebody's got a different point, they're going to make theirs. That's cool. Okay, when you get rude, you get gone. So just saying that. Okay, so apparently, the videos that I put up yesterday afternoon and this morning on the new DHS bulletin apparently struck a nerve with a lot of people, and for good reason, because, like a lot of you said, the terrorists are who? Okay, probably us. As at least as the terrorist government we have says. But did y'all catch what happened today? Okay, I spent my day canning, so it was like 7:30 when I finally got the chance to sit down and see what the hell was going on in the world and what y'all were talking about and everything like that. But I guess there was a protest today in LA between Antifa, or I'm sorry, a bunch of anti-mandate protesters were having a protest on, I think it was City Hall grounds or something like that. And of course, everybody's favorite losers, Antifa, shows up. And this is kind of what I was talking about the other day. Go in pairs, stay out of trouble, etc., etc. Because what happened? There were a whole bunch of fights. There was one guy that was stabbed. Okay. Yeah, it was at LA City Hall. Okay. So you get all of this. I'm all for people expressing their views, trust me, and protesting this crap. I'm 100% behind it. All I'm asking everybody is, if you're going to do it, stay safe and stay out of the violence. That's the big thing, okay? Because, as I said the other day, you go back to January 6th and all the lies that we've been told about what happened on January 6th. And y'all know there's a whole bunch of guys that are still in, I want to say jail, but they're under arrest. Let's put it this way, and they're singing the Star Spangled Banner every night at 9 o'clock. But here 7 months later, they're still under arrest and no charges filed against them, right? Well, there was a story that came out today, and I think this is a very good thing for them, is that one of the officers' families one of the officers that committed suicide, his family is suing the January 6th assailants. And I think that's awesome. Not that they're getting sued, but they're finally going to get a day in court where they are going to say their side. And if you don't think this one's going to somehow make news, it'll just be interesting to see, how, like he's supposed to be, middle of the road the judge is, or if he's way out here somewhere. Yes, that's my left hand. Okay, so, but, hopefully those guys finally get a chance to tell their side of the story, and somebody has to listen, okay? Because a lot of the stuff that happened was complete false flag crap, all right? Then the other thing I talked about in that video was potential for lockdowns. And y'all know I've been saying for months that Labor Day is when we're going to see it, okay? I'm still 100% convinced of that, and we're getting closer and closer and closer and closer. And, of course, we get some of the dissenters, which is fine. They say, oh, it'll never happen. And I agree, in some places it will happen, but it will not be it will not be followed, okay? Florida, Texas, hopefully Tennessee. I mean, at least in my area, everybody's like, screw it. Though the funny thing was, Mrs. P and I had to go to the grocery store today, and all of a sudden I saw people in masks again. What the hell is this noise? But, okay. But for those of you that don't think lockdowns are possible, okay, anywhere, I want to give you this. This came out this evening. Australia locks down 431,000 people in the capital over 4 cases. Y'all don't think that's coming here? You live in New York, Baltimore, Detroit, Chicago, Toledo, Cincinnati, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Charleston, West Virginia, Cheyenne, Wyoming, I don't care. Okay, 4 cases, and they're going to lock down the city. Hell, for Cheyenne, that's the entire population of Wyoming. But yeah, I mean, this is where they're going, guys. So understand that one. But again, and I'm going to kind of move on to the next one. We all know that as idiotic as the 46 administration is, by the way, if y'all didn't see it, his disapproval rating is now above his approval rating. So even the Democrats who voted for Biden, actually voted for Biden, are saying, we didn't vote for this. Okay. But it's ridiculous when you have stories that came up the other day, like it's not under consideration yet for barring interstate travel or anything. While we have a porous southern border, I think it was 250,000 people came over the southern border in July. Okay. I mean, 250,000 people, guys. Think about that. That's the size of, I don't know, from where I've lived, Fort Wayne, Indiana, second largest city in the state. Okay, that many people came across the border. Yet they're going to try to stop us from moving. Stories are saying that 40% of these people that are coming across the border are CV positive. So, figure that one out. And then they put them on a plane and they ship them all around, and they wind up super spreaders. Oh, kind of like Martha's Vineyard and Obama the other day in his birthday party, the super spreader event there, that, we're going to be good. Obama kind of doing this to Biden, saying, but I'm an elite. I'm a liberal elite. I can do whatever the hell I want. Yeah, okay. So, the Democrats can't even get their stories straight amongst themselves. How the hell are they going to sit there and govern a country that's a third Democrat, a third Independent, and a third Republican, and 10% who knows. Okay, but the funniest one that came out tonight, and if y'all saw this one, a federal court judge, because of everything that's going on the southern border, federal court judge ordered the Biden administration to resume Trump's Remain in Mexico policy. Think about that for a second. Now you have a federal judge again, third time now, telling the current administration, third time in a week, you are violating the Constitution. Okay? Like I said, grounds for impeachment, they impeached Trump over a lie twice. This is 3 times in a week the current administration has blatantly been caught. Okay? And now, I mean, we all knew this, okay? But now told by the other branch of government, the judicial system, you are violating the Constitution. Stop. Let's see what happens. Okay, so those are kind of topics I wanted to bring up tonight to start. Okay. And obviously, those are all things that we need to take care of. I'll give you one other one. It's funny, I was talking to Mrs. P tonight, and just a quick story. There, as we leave our town here, there's a vehicle that's been sitting in a corner, hidden behind a hill. But you can see it when you come down our road, but it's hidden from the main road. And all of a sudden, the hood is missing. Now the front grille is missing. The headlights are missing. And, you know, I'm like, okay, this is, my guess is this is a stolen vehicle and somebody tried to hide it. They need to steal some parts off of it. They hid it there where you couldn't see it on the main road, but you can when you get the back roads to get to my house. So I called the sheriff's department, told them it was there, whatever. Mrs. P's comment, she goes, we need to turn our house into a fortress. Y'all think? So, that being said, all right, there we go, 12 minutes of my soliloquy, and we kind of go from there. All right, so kind of get into the meat and potatoes, all of this. For those of you that are new, and I saw that there are some new people, greetings to everybody. There's 1,100 plus of you guys in here now, so we're long past the days where I can say hi to everybody. I apologize. What we do here on Tuesdays and Saturday nights is it's a Q&A for you guys to ask me questions, and then, of course, have conversations amongst yourselves. Okay. So what I ask is this. If you've got a question for me, please put it in all caps. That way I know it's directed to me. If it's something in lowercase, you guys are talking amongst yourself, that's great, and I can kind of scroll through the comments, as I've got my laptop right below me here. I can scroll through the comments and see what questions you have for me. No subjects off limits. I mean, we'll talk anything gardening, politics, prepping, knives, guns, whatever. If I don't know, I don't know. I don't have all the answers, guys. Never said I did, never believed I did, okay? If I know, I'll tell you. If I don't, hopefully somebody else in here knows it. But 39,000 of you or whatever it is that, you know, follow this channel, I'm betting somebody's got the answers that I don't have, okay? Which, that being said, 39,000 guys, remember what happens at 50. And we went from 25 to near 40 real quick. I'm getting a feeling we're gonna go from 40 to 50 quick. So it may be time to get the Monty Hall hat on again. But please, if you're going to ask a question, put it in all caps. I start from the top, go all the way to the bottom. It may take me 5-10 minutes to get down. I try to get to as many questions as I can. If I haven't answered your question in 5 or 10 minutes, please ask it again. If I see it a second time, I'll skip it. But I apologize if I don't get to it, because there's more of you than there are of me. So with that being said, let's get to the top, see what y'all got. And oh yeah, and just in case we got dry lightning storms going on, I've already lost power once today. So if we lose power and I disappear for a minute, I'll come back on 4G and we'll go from there. We did that once before. So, all right, so let's see what we got. I'm gonna scroll on through here. Red Tyrant Hunter. Holy crap, I got alerted to a live stream. There you go. Okay. This is still all the beginning. I think probably before I got, oh, yep, this is just where the 5x5 comes in. Okay. Let's see. I got a Hecton Gibbous Goya Avant. I have no idea what language that is, but I'm assuming it means good evening. If I had a guess, I'd almost say Hebrew, but don't know. Let's see. East Tennessee Preparedness. What are my thoughts on what's happening in Afghanistan? Well, not surprisingly, the 46 administration completely dropped the ball on this one. Let's pull everybody out, and then what happens? The Taliban has taken back 75% of the country in 2 weeks? We've been there for 20 years, and in 2 weeks they took back 75% of the country. And if you notice today, 46 now said we're sending 5,000 troops back in to Afghanistan. Brandy, thank you for the super chat. That is greatly appreciated. But we're sending 5,000 troops back in, okay? China is wringing their hands going, okay, we're going in. Fine, let the Chinese go in. Okay, and guys, you got to think about this. In the 80s, if you all remember this, the Soviets went into Afghanistan, got their ass kicked. We've been in there for 20 freaking years, okay? $2.7 billion or something like that, or $2.7 trillion. I forget what, I think it was $1 trillion. We've spent on the war in Afghanistan for nothing. In 2 weeks, the Taliban took everything over again, okay? So $2.7 trillion pissed away, God knows how many troops' lives and everything like that lost for nothing, okay? Screw it. They're a bunch of freaking heathens who hate the United States anyway, okay? The Afghanis cannot stand Americans. Why we care, I don't know. What great contribution to society have the Afghans made to anybody? Oh, heroin? Woohoo, cool. And somebody just popped through there and it flew by so fast. I'm sorry, I can't see it. Fox 3905, thank you also for the super chat. Had to stop for that one real quick here. So, but yeah, so you get into the Chinese want to go in, fine. Let the Chinese go spend trillions of dollars for the next 20 years to get nowhere. All right. These are people that are living as though it's 1000 AD. Let them do whatever. Again, I understand what everybody's going to talk about human rights and women and everything like that. They got feet. They can move. We had millions of people from Syria wind up going up into Europe a couple of years ago, right? Afghanis can do it real quick too. And I mean, there's land bridge all the way for them. So not overly concerned about it, but sure as hell ain't our problem the way I look at it. Okay. On a mission for truth, how much water do you keep on hand in rain barrels? Me? None. Okay, but there's a real good reason for it. A, I'm on a well, and B, I've got a lake across the street. Okay, so if I need water, no big deal. I can take a 5-gallon bucket across the street and get it. I've got a hand pump on there, and again, I'm going to say this. My situation is completely different than every single one of yours, and your situation is different than every single one of everybody else's. Okay. The water situation is always going to be the issue. That's going to be the hardest thing to do. I mean, it hasn't rained here anything significant in about 3 weeks. Okay. We've got a couple of drizzles, but nothing that's going to fill a rain bucket. Not even if I had it off a gutter on the roof. So how do you get your water? That's the thing that everybody needs to figure out. That was one of the things that Mrs. P and I looked at when we moved here, is we wanted to be somewhere near a lake. And yeah, I get it. When you get people bathing in a lake and doing whatever, it's going to contaminate the water. That's what Berkeys are for. That's what life straws are for, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. But how are you going to get your water? That is the biggest challenge for everybody, because I'm sorry, I will completely disagree with the Red Cross or FEMA or whoever says a gallon of water per person per day, that's bullshit. Okay. 6 is about a more accurate number. Okay. And I've said this many times, between drinking, between cooking, between cleaning, and I'm not talking about taking a shower, I'm talking about taking a sponge bath, between brushing your teeth, doing whatever. Diane, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate it. Yeah, you need about 6 gallons of water per person. Cleaning dishes, whatever, and everybody says, oh, I got paper plates. Great, you don't have paper pots and pans. Okay, so, whatever you're going to do, you're going to have to clean it somehow. Hygiene is going to be of critical need in any sort of SHTF, because there ain't going to be a hospital or ReadyMed, a doctor's office to go to if all of a sudden you're sick. So hygiene is going to be crucial, and you're going to see a ton of people die because it's like, again, let's talk about Afghanistan. All right. Or any of these third world countries. Oh, we just go shit in a river. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Hygiene issues. No, it doesn't work. You got to stay clean. You got to keep that garbage away from you. You got to keep that human waste away from you. That's got, and you got to keep yourself clean. Otherwise you're going to get sick, and there's, the last thing you want to do is do everything that you're doing and die from something simple of, oh crap, my hands were dirty before I ate my food and I got an infection and died, So, yeah, 6 gallons of water, but how you're going to get them, that's going to be different for everybody, but it's 6 gallons of water per person per day is a prudent thing to have. And you've got to figure out a way to replenish that. Sure, you can't have complete barrels of water, an entire backyard of barrels of water. But that is the one thing that I see is going to be the biggest problem for most people is fresh water. HJS video, have you heard about the Tennessee EO83? I joined late due to the power outage here. Go back and watch my videos a few days ago. 99% of the crap you're hearing online about EO83 is bullshit. Okay. But I'm not going to rehash the whole thing here. You can go back and watch those videos. I talked about it. I think it was on Tuesday's live stream. I did a video about it, whole 9 yards. Diane asked, did I see federal judge ordered Potato Head to reinstate Trump's immigration law? Yep, talked about that at the top. TV, what affordable solar to get? Did a video on this maybe about a month and a half ago. The EcoFlow Delta 1300, if you can still get it, I don't know. We're able to get refurbished models for $850. And then I got 12 CVAN solar panels, which were able to charge them well. So, and again, this is all subjective here, but in my opinion, a better generator than the Jackery. Why I say that? Because I can charge the EcoFlow in an hour, where the Jackery takes 12 off of your electric in the house. Okay, it's got a faster charge to it. I was able to run a refrigerator for 11 hours on that. It was more cost efficient. It was a cheaper generator with 1,300 watts instead of 1,000 watts, and did better for me. But go back and watch my video here a few weeks back on solar panels. I did the solar panel review and the generator review. Jordan Paul, any idea where we can get IV bags? That one I do not know. That's a good question. But again, I'm hoping you've got somebody in your mag who knows how to administer an IV. And if you've got somebody in the mag who knows how to administer an IV, chances are they are in the medical profession somehow. So they probably know where they can get them. That would be my guess. Roger Dodger, thoughts on Afghanistan, just did that. Ironic, we've not had a cyber attack in a tiny minute, says Chrissy Drill. Yes. Though there was what was it, $650 million worth of Bitcoin stolen the other day. And then, of course, returned because they're like, we're not in it for the money. We just wanted to show you guys how idiotic you are. So that was it. 3AD Scout. Pinball, are you considering raising any animals for food? If yes, what kind? If no, why not? I can't where I am because there are laws on watershed, because the lake I live on is the drinking water reservoir. It's a man-made lake. Okay, it's Norris Lake. Drinking water reservoir for a lot of the South. So we can't have livestock here because obviously you'd have flow into the lake. Fox 3905, thank you for the super chat. And I'll get to your question just in a second. But I can't have it because of that. Now, in an SHTF situation, I don't give a shit about the laws, okay? Yes, at that point, I would certainly be raising chickens, raising rabbits. That would be it, because they're relatively easy to do. I don't know enough about raising cows or pigs or goats or anything like that. I'm not a farmer. Fox 3905, what would you do if you had an extra $5,000? I don't have solar yet. Depending on where you are, okay? If you've got a year's plus worth of food, if you've got your commo set up, all right, which would mean either two-way radios, ham radios, CBs, whatever it would be, if you, those two things, if you have your security set up, okay, you know, your personal security devices, I think you know what I'm talking about at that point, and plenty of freedom seeds to go with them, that would be it. After that, I just talked about solar generators. That would certainly be the way to go. But yeah, I mean, I would look at in this order: food, personal security, communications, power. Okay. Once you've got all those taken care of, then you're starting to look a little bit about wealth preservation, or you're building on the rest. Okay. You know, more ammo is not a bad thing. More food's not a bad thing. You know, anything that you go that way. But yeah, that if I had an extra $5,000, but the big key I would say is this: are all your debts paid? If all your debts are paid, and then you've got an extra $5,000. If you still owe $5,000 on the car note, no, you don't have an extra $5,000. $5,000 goes on the car note. All right, let's go back to where we were. Okay, bear with me. I got to find it again. Jules is saying large animal supply store for in bags. I'm assuming she means IV bags. Okay, so maybe like I'm thinking more like not a PetSmart, but something like a co-op or 4-H or something like that, maybe. Okay. Good idea. Something I don't know. Jamie Lee, what kind of vape do I use? It is a Geek Vape Aegis with a smoked baby beast on it, and I make my own juice. Rob Blackwell, what is my go-to listening pleasure? 80s. And if I'm listening, I mean, best AC/DC, anything. I mean, Bon Scott era, Brian Johnson era, it doesn't matter to me. I could listen to AC/DC for 12 hours straight. But other than that, give me my 80s hair metal, and I'm there. Moldy Soldier, I find it interesting that the French and Italian people are fighting back, but none here. I think that's probably because they're getting pushed a little further than we are. You know, we haven't got to the point like that video that came out earlier this week about the police going up to people sitting in outdoor cafes in Paris going, show me your passport. We haven't got that far. We get that far, and I think that, you know, we talked at the top about the protests in LA. Somebody said in an email today, and I haven't got any confirmation of this, but LA is now saying that you can't go into a grocery store without proof. I cannot verify that, but somebody sent me that email. So, but it was just kind of interesting if we go like that. But yeah, people are only going to take so much. And, like I said earlier, Biden's approval rating is now lower than his disapproval rating. The blue states are starting to go, this ain't what we wanted. Okay. And the red states are all like, okay, this is bullshit. We're not doing it. All right. So, it's going to be interesting to see how far until when the blue states finally wake up and go, this is insane, then maybe things will change. Mary Jane Green, you can have pets like rabbits. Yeah. See, there's the problem with us raising livestock is Mrs. B would name them all. And if I had to go out and say, oh, gee, I'm going out to get a chicken for dinner, and she'd be like, which one are you getting? Are you getting Gladys or Mabel? It's like, oh my God, I'd have tears over dinner. That's a problem. Big animal lovers in this household. Okay. So there's another problem. Besides the fact the rules don't let me do it, that's going to be another issue. But I still like to eat. Nana Carey writes is about IV bags. Try online pet supplies and medicines. I've seen them for horses. Okay. Grace Acres, hi Pinball. What's my recommended book for medicinal herbs and foraging? I can't give you a recommended book, but I can give you this one. Okay. And this one was sent to me. Wait till you guys can see it on the screen. This one was sent to me here last week, the Modern Herbal Dispensatory. Okay. It looks like it is a very in-depth book. Obviously, I haven't sat down and read the whole thing. Okay. But that I'm not an expert on it, whatever. When I did that video a week or so ago about some of the stuff in your yard, that was getting tips from Mountaintop Prepper here, who had made some salves and balms and stuff like that, things that she had done and told me about it. And I thought it was a good idea. So, Larif Larson, is it true that I have Kamala Harris in an undisclosed location? Well, I don't know where she is, so I guess it's undisclosed. Who knows? I mean, Biden's on vacation. Not that he's done anything. Biden's been on vacation since January 20th. Vacation in his own mind. So I have no idea where she is or anything like that. So, yeah, in that case, it's an undisclosed location. Kimberly House, hey Pinball, I sent you 2 emails about things going on in Greenville, Tennessee. Wondered if I sent them to, I don't know if you did, because I don't remember seeing anything like that. It's Pinball Preparedness at protonmail.com. Bishop 30, what is my plan for CME and solar flares? Well, if it knocks out the electricity, it's going to be no different than if it's an EMP. Obviously, you're not going to see me here because there won't be any internet. Everybody says, well, don't take out the internet. No, take out my modem, which takes out the internet. So that would be it. But yeah, I mean, my plan is, whatever I've got, my gas power generator, my solar generator, recharging my solar generators and go on with life. And if I've got to rally the troops and bring everything closer to home, so be it. I mean, I've gotten to the point where if I never had to leave my property, or at least real close to it, I could probably be okay. All right. The only issue that I would have is protein that I can think of, and that would be getting to the lake. Hunting in my backyard or whatever, maybe getting a squirrel or a rabbit. Plenty of squirrels. I just have to keep the dogs in the house. Let's see. Cindy Rice, thank you for the super chat. Somebody just made a comment on silver. Yes, silver's cheap right now. I actually did my first step and bought an ounce of gold last week, a couple of days ago. I think it was Thursday, somewhere thereabouts. Because like I said, 100-to-1 ratio. And it was like, okay, so now I've saved up enough and it was time to buy an ounce of gold. So it'd be my first ounce of gold. But yeah, silver's down in the 23 and change range. That's freaking dirt cheap right now, guys. Okay. Nobody expected it to go there. You'll see, probably a relatively quick bounce up in the 25 range again. It's just there's some pressure on it because you've got all the whole group that, God, I don't want to get into too much economics here without boring the hell out of you guys, but you've got the group that is believing in the dollar and the group that doesn't, okay? And the dollar and precious metals right now are fighting each other. So as the dollar goes up, precious metals goes down. Vice versa, as the dollar goes down, precious metals go up. I think we all know the value of the dollar is going to go in the toilet. So that's why I keep saying precious metals. Sorry, I got to scroll back up. It shot me to the bottom again. Cha-cha. Pinball, how much freedom seed should someone store? That depends on your budget. If you've got 10 rounds, you're wasting your time, okay? Whatever you think is going to be the situation. And again, it's going to be for different platforms too, okay? And I'll just kind of go through some of the stuff, my 308, I think I've got like 500 rounds. Why? Because that's a good hunting rifle, okay? But I'm not going to be out shooting 500 deer anytime soon. ARs, I'm going to have more. That's going to be defensive, okay? My sidearm, more. That's going to be more defensive. Shotgun, that's my shotgun at least, is home defense. I don't need that many, okay? But my sidearm and my AR, those are the ones I'm going to have the most of. My hunting rifle or whatever it is, you're not just popping off rounds at a hunting rifle. Ask anybody that goes hunting, it's like, oh, I shot 5 rounds this year. That was it. You're not wasting the ammo, so you don't need that much, okay? And I doubt you're going to be using a 308 in any sort of defensive capacity. So, but, I guess the answer would be as much as you can afford. Prepping in Pisgah, they just mentioned my location, not smart or simple. Google area told me an area where you maybe it just adds up. Not a big deal. My post office box is on every video in the description. They want to find me, they're going to find me, okay? An IP address is easily trackable, all right? Not a big deal, all right? You get out to Sharps Chapel, it's not going to take, if you didn't know the whole area, you drive this whole area in a day, you're going to find me. Okay, you guys are talking. Neil Perry says Tractor Supply is penicillin and amoxicillin, fish. Yep. Yeah, anything you get from the pet store for antibiotics, good to have. Morgan says, since silver's down again, would it be smart to buy some? Yes, absolutely. I'd be buying down here. Like I said, just jumped, and I bought gold on the dip it was Thursday because it bounced back on Friday. Arky Farmer says you can order suture kits from Amazon. Yeah, but you got to know how to use them. This is the thing, okay? If you can go take a EMT course or something like that, practice on fetal pigs or something like that, at least get some practice on how to do sutures, because it's not like darning a sock. Monique King, did I get your email the other day about the CBC article? Probably. I don't know. You guys got to understand, I get a couple of hundred emails a day. So unless your YouTube name matches your email name, and I see it a lot, chances are I'm not going to remember it, but I do remember a couple of CBC articles. Chances are I did. Christopher Montrose, do you like Chris Reeve knives? If so, which folder do you recommend as a legacy type knife? I don't even know Chris Reeve knives. I mean, the only thing I carry is a Smith & Wesson pocket knife. I've got a K-bar as a belt knife, and then, of course, carrying as a machete. So, I mean, this is it. I'm going to stick to my military type stuff that I would have. F libtards. How about Pink Floyd? Good stuff there. No problem. Not good music. You got to be in the right mood to listen to Pink Floyd. This is a different, total different mood I'm going to be in if I'm listening to AC/DC and I'm listening to Pink Floyd. So, let's see. Lisa Jones, what do you think about becoming sovereign? I've said from the beginning, the only thing that's getting out of all this is balkanization. Okay, and we're probably going to turn into 3 or 4 different countries, is my guess. At this point, I see it coming. I don't see any other path. There's too much disparity between the two sides. You're going to have the communist West Coast. You're going to have the communist Northeast. Okay, possibly parts of the upper Midwest, and then you're going to have free America, which is going to be, the majority of the landmass. I mean, just go take a look at the 2020 election county by county vote. Yeah, there's going to be some little blue dots and a lot of red space. Those people are going to have a choice: either get with the game or get the hell out. Okay, because ain't a whole lot of red people in AOC's district, for example. Okay, but there are blue people in Austin, Texas, and Texas ain't going blue. Right? As much as the Democrats love to tell everybody that, it ain't happening. Okay, there will be a war before Texas goes blue. Nunya Beeswax, Angry Prepper was at an anti-mandate protest Tuesday. Yes, I watched it. I was sitting in the grocery store parking lot, watching. Mrs. P was at the doctor. I was sitting at the grocery store parking lot watching it there, watching what was going on. It was, there's people everywhere. I mean, they're gonna, not every person, just because it's a blue state or a red state, not every person or every city or every town or every neighborhood is, all like-minded. Some places more than others, but that would be, it was a good thing. JB, how old are you, Pinball? I will be 55 over Labor Day weekend. So how about that for an answer? Billy Pollard, do I dehydrate anything, and if so, what? We have a dehydrator, and ironically, what we use it for mostly is fish. Okay, Mrs. P likes dried fish. It's a Russian thing. Okay, I'm not an overly big fan on dried food. May get there. Don't get me wrong. Okay, I ate enough of it in the Army. Not a big fan. And I'm not a big fan of fried food, potato chips or corn chips or anything like that. So, that there's just something about, I don't like that sharp texture in my mouth. So we don't do much of it. But yeah, the dehydrating we do is primarily fish, which I bet most of you don't do. Bishop 30 Solutions, what is my plan for solar flares? Like I said, same thing as an EMP. Okay, if the power goes out, just rally the troops, get everything close to home, and kind of go from there. I mean, it's, if the power goes out, the power goes out. If you got your heat taken care of, your power needs, minimal power needs taken care of, that's what you're going to do. I mean, we're not living in caves, but again, remember, if the power goes out for me, it goes out for everybody. Charlie Marcus, Mrs. P let me in the kitchen today. Yes. She also made me clean it. So don't get me, because when I'm in the kitchen, it's not a neat scenario. So I wound up spending half an hour cleaning the kitchen when I was done. Yes. South Colorado Stetter, smoked rabbit is delicious. I keep telling Mrs. P, I mean, the grocery store we go to here, actually, I think I've told you, it's a grocery outlet store. Because stuff, I wanted to talk about that, but I'm going to comment in here with this. No Name Joe, thank you for the super chat. And I don't know how Nashville's with all that going on, because I'm 4 hours away from Nashville. So we were in the grocery outlet today. And I mean, it's like an IGA, guys, but it's just discounted stuff. So I took a look at things and wanted to see what certain things cost so I could talk to you about it. The 10-pound bag of legs and thighs was still $5.99, so 59 cents a pound. but your styrofoam package of chicken thighs was $1.19. Okay, so I kind of got that as interesting. Ground beef was $3, the 75/25. Steaks were $8.50. There were a few. Okay, I didn't look at the pork prices. As for the processed food, the only lunch meat, only, was bologna. No ham, no turkey, no nothing. Okay, no salami. Must love salami. Bologna. That was it. Okay. Anything for Polish sausage, kielbasa, turkey sausage, nothing. The only thing you had was a little cocktail weenies. Cheese. There was a little bit of Colby cheese, a little bit of Colby Jack cheese. That was it. Okay. This place was, I mean, there was not much. And I was there on Tuesday and it looked the same way. So it wasn't like I caught them before they stocked the shelves. It was the same thing. Okay. Yeah. So if this is an outlet, this is the stores that are getting the overflow from, in my case, Food City, Ingles, Walmart, whatever, Kroger. Okay. Those are the local ones here. If there's not that much overflow, that means there's not that much for the main stores either. All right. So, but I make the comment because South Colorado Stetter asked about rabbit. They always have rabbit in there for sale, and I keep saying to Mrs. P, we need to get a rabbit. We need to get a rabbit. We need to get a rabbit. She goes, I don't know how to cook rabbit. All right, maybe I'll go smoke a rabbit. Smoke it, can it, right? The hell. Fox, thanks again for the super chat again, and thank you for your service as well. I appreciate the vet comment always. There's many of us that, fortunately, a little more appreciated than the guys in the 70s. And, those of us who served and the guys that came back from Vietnam have a lot of respect for those guys because they didn't sign up for it, wound up going through it. They came home, and that was a good thing. So, Terry did not eat beef for almost a year when I was a kid because the cow was a pet named Amber. Learned my lesson. There you go. Yes, exactly. There's a story of my mom when she was a kid. And, you can still do this. You go into, at least I remember 20 years ago, you go into a Red Lobster or something like this, and they have the lobster tank in front of you. And again, my mom's pushing 80 at this point. But they went in and let her pick a lobster. And so she picked a lobster. And when the lobster showed up on her plate, she thought she was going to get to take it home as a pet. I was like, no, when the lobster showed up, she just bawled like crazy. Obviously, I wasn't around, but, this was when she was a kid. Texas Janet Garden Prep. You should get quail. They're full grown in 2 months, so you don't get emotional about them. There you go. I was like, damn it, get out of my way. Let's see. Broke Stacker. What do I do if my tech company mandates and I don't want the job? Do not quit. Let them fire you. Okay. I know there's a lot of articles out there saying that you're not eligible for unemployment. Make them fight it. Okay. Because if you quit, it's easy for them. You quit. Okay. If you don't want, you refuse. You can't, depending on how much they're going to tell them you're a Jehovah's Witness. Tell them it's a religious thing. Tell them you are, I forget what the vegan term is, where even if something's tested on animals, you can't use it. Whatever, if they're going to dig into your personal life, then maybe it's not a company I want to work for anyway. But, there's ways around it depending on where you are. And if not, then, it's a decision. Is this a company I want to work for that thinks that, they have that, this company is so important that, in their mind that they have a right to what I'm going to do with my body. I don't buy that. Okay. Jenny Simsick, News Channel 8 in Ohio said deer in Ohio found to have COVID antibodies. How'd that happen? I've seen quite a bit about this. I guess they're saying about 40% of the deer have caught COVID. Because this is another one of the reasons why this will never be This isn't smallpox, okay? Smallpox was something that was unique to human beings, and so we were able to eradicate it. COVID is not unique to human beings. Other animals can get it, dogs, cats, deer, whatever it would be. So therefore, there's no way in the world we'll ever eradicate it, because you're not going to go out and give every deer, and the 30 million deer that are in the United States aren't going to show up for 2 shots. So, uh, John Graves, quail you can keep in a bedroom just like a cockatoo or a parakeet. Yeah, I want to see how that goes with my dogs. That wouldn't work. Yeah. Sarah Kelly, grew up farming. Rule number 1, don't name supper. You don't know Mrs. P. Believe me, we've got hummingbirds that fly around the front yard. We've got hummingbird feeders out there. She's got the hummingbirds named. Audrey Huffman, is Rumble still okay, or is it caved to the big tech type of rules? Yes and no. They are, well, let's put it this way. I can still put what I want up on Rumble, but they aren't, what's the word I'm looking for here? Highlighting it or anything like that. They'll show the liberal stuff, like you see on your recommended, they'll show the liberal stuff. They don't show the conservative stuff. Okay. And why? They just got a whole lot of funding from Silicon Valley. Mitzi Kimsey, how to get rid of squash bugs on squash and tomato plants. The easiest thing I would say is 7 dust. If not, then you can make if you want to do something that's more organic, you can make a mixture of Dawn dish soap, garlic, and warm water. Put that in a sprayer and spray that. You guys have asked me about solar flares. I've mentioned this. You've asked me a bunch of times. I've already answered it. Yui Ho 6T, I think. How bad is the disease in the Southeast? Would you go on trip? I don't understand okay, you got to correct English. I don't understand your question. Voodoo Queen, I have a book that is great. I'll post some great books after the live for those interested. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was going to say, if anybody's going to have the answer for that herbal question, it's her. No problem. I will defer there. No problem. Patrick Mowry, thoughts on a ham license? Great to have it. I don't have one. And I know a lot of you guys have told me that you can now get them online. It's something that I was actually spending some time this morning looking into CB base station and my ham license myself, because that's something that I've got to get going on too. Ace Maduro, can we put Biden and Harris in an undisclosed location in Afghanistan? I got a better idea for an undisclosed location than Afghanistan, but if I told you, it wouldn't be undisclosed to anyone. Yeah, there's the rumbles of thunder again. Oops, and we just shot to the bottom. And let's see. Okay. Diane asked, did I see where KFC is warning of food shortages due to weeks of disruption? Yes. And that, I mean, where was it? Was it London? That there was a story the other day where people were calling 911 or the equivalent or something like that, calling the emergency services, because KFC was out of chicken or whatever they wanted and everything like that. And they actually had to come out with a public service announcement saying, please stop calling us when your fast food restaurant is out of the food you want. Yeah, I mean, we all know the story on chicken here real quick. Like Tyson said the other day, the prices are going up for feed and labor and everything faster than they can raise the prices on chicken. So, and then of course, Tyson did their mandate the other day, which is going to, of course, cause a strike there, and a whole bunch of Tyson employees are quitting. And so that's just going to cause prices to go up even more because there's going to be a labor shortage. Tina Hutchins, don't I have an Aldi's? No, there's no Aldi's around here. I'll butter your muffin. Thank you for the super chat. What you say? Los Angeles County, San Francisco County, and Sacramento County want to succeed. That's less than 13% of California landmass, not all of Cali. I've got to think that those three counties are probably pretty liberal. So, hey, let them. That's fine by me. And I'm betting fine by a lot of Californians. Let's see. Scarlet Brimstone. We raised Holsteins and Angus cows and named them Sarah was tasty. What are we having for dinner tonight? Sarah Olive King. I don't know. Yeah. Patriot Ref, will they make a jab mandate for deer? Yes. Can you see all the deer lining up going, okay, here's my paw. God. Uh there you go, Hector Prepper. Just name your chickens Yum Yum or Fry Girl or Drumstick. Okay. Corky Kinter, what's my view of the Proud Boys? I don't have a problem with them. The thing I get, the biggest laugh I get out of it is it was first off started as a joke. Okay. It wasn't even, I mean, something organized. Second off, they talk about these guys as a white supremacist organization, and the guy that uh, started the whole thing is Hispanic. I mean, it's just all it is this is a group of friends, okay, if you will, and they got turned into the boogeyman by a bunch of racists in Washington, i.e., the Democrat Party, the biggest racist party there ever existed. But they've got to turn everybody else into the boogeyman. It's deflection. That's about it. You want to talk about racist organizations? Okay, we can talk about BLM. We can talk about Antifa. Don't tell me the Proud Boys are racist, because how the hell can they be a white supremacist when there's black guys in the damn thing, and Hispanic guys and Asian guys? These are a bunch of people that are proud to be an American. They don't hate this country. That's a good thing. You'd think they'd be celebrated, not demonized. Jordan Paul, go to truck stops for advice for CBs. Yep, that'd be a good place, good recommendation there. Neil Perry, satellite phones, $99 a month phone. If the grid goes down, don't need a license. Yeah, but the satellites are going to go down too. That's the problem with it. Billy Pollard, I feel comms are my biggest weakness here lately. See, the thing with comms is this, and I know we only have a couple of minutes. There's got to be somebody on the other end. You can have you can have a radio station set up in your house but if nobody can communicate back to you, big deal. Okay, now you're radio free America. So what? All right. If nobody can communicate back to you, then all you're doing is distributing information. You've got to be, conversation works two ways. So, the fact that you have a great CB setup or ham setup or whatever it is, if I'm here on a ham radio and I'm talking to some guy in Singapore, yeah, it's kind of cool. I hit the skip or whatever it would be and I can do it. But what valuable intel is some guy in Singapore going to give me? That's kind of the point. My whole opinion is I need something that I can get local intel, something that's going to directly affect me. Jordan says, have a group. Robert Bates, good point. Get your seeds now. I was just thinking about that before. I've got to go through all my seeds and see what I have, what I need to order for next year. This is the time, guys, where you need to start ordering your seeds for next year. Don't wait till spring. There ain't going to be any, okay? Because anybody that's smart is ordering them now. The seed growers are harvesting just like you are, and they'll have all the seeds. Now, granted, you're not going to get things like your potatoes and stuff like that, but any sort of dried seeds you can start ordering now, and they'll probably be delivered October, November, maybe all the way out to January. But you need to get your name on that list, because most of the seed companies I know, they start a list and they go from top down. And if you're number 8,240 on the list and they only have 8,239 bags of seeds, you don't get any. Focke-Wulf 190D, any desalination equipment available on the market worth buying if you live near the ocean? I don't live near the ocean. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, if you could get something like that, I don't, I know desalination is possible. I actually saw a video one time where somebody made something at home, on a beach to desalinate water, but I know nothing about it. Morning Light, pre-order your potatoes and such. Yes, actually, absolutely pre-order your potatoes. Uh, just hope you don't get purple potatoes when you order Kennebec Whites. Let's see if we get one more. Will be. And North Shore says it here. Make sure you're growing your seeds. Yeah, I mean, I've done a couple of videos on saving seeds, how to do it. Save your seeds, guys, for, A, you got them, okay? But B, those seeds are also starting to acclimatize to where you are, to what your soil is, to what your growing conditions are. I mean, I can split this tomato open right now and I can pull enough seeds out of one tomato that I could wind up having all the tomato plants I need next year. Again, I can pull one pepper out here and probably get enough seeds to grow all my peppers next year. It doesn't take a whole lot. So, scrape some seeds out of tomatoes, and I'll say this just as one final point. I know everybody says heirloom, 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 heirloom. I get it. Okay. I grow heirloom stuff. I grow hybrid stuff. Okay. All these little Bartelli tomatoes, which are delicious. If you want some 10-foot high tomato plants, find Bartelli cherry tomatoes. These things are so sweet. They're delicious. They're hybrid stuff. But you can plant the seeds from hybrid vegetables. You won't get the same thing. But if we're in an SHTF, do you really give a damn? Oh, gee, it's not a perfect Rutgers tomato or whatever it is. No, but it's still a tomato and maybe it tastes better. My bet is this tomato is probably a cross between my Rutgers and my Celebrities. But you've seen me slice these things open. These things are kind of yellow, as you can see. They're bright red inside. I don't grow any yellow tomatoes. So this has got to be something I somehow got crossed last year. But they're delicious tomatoes. I won't say all of them are going to be delicious, but, it's still a tomato. It's still food. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody, for having a happy Saturday night. If you can hear the thunder out behind me, it's hopefully going to rain here. I pray to God. Have a good evening, y'all. Pinball out.